Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Next, we look into stewardship theory. So, different from agency theory, so this theory defines situations which managers are not motivated by individual goals. So, that means previously in agency theory, we see that managers are motivated by their self-interest. That means their individual goals. But in this theory, in stewardship theory, we say that they are rather as stewards whose motives are aligned with the objectives of their principal. So in other words, these stewards, under stewardship theory, we say that the stewards or the managers are motivated to align their objective with the interests of the principal. So it also acknowledges a larger range of human motives, including orientation towards achievement, altruism, commitment, and commitment to meaningful work. In other words, when we look into the agency theory just now, we say that the principal has their principals have their own self-interest, whereas the agents also have their own self-interest. But under stewardship theory, we say no. The stewards, they are motivated to have their objectives in alignment with that of the principals. Why? Because we say that these humans are being motivated not only based on the self-interest, but humans or the stewards, they are motivated. There are a lot of other motives for them to perform their task or to perform their work to the maximum. They want to achieve, for example, they want to achieve something. They want to make sure the business achieve its there are also altruism motives. There are they want to provide a good commitment and provide a meaningful work towards their job. So we are saying that so focus on the intrinsic rewards that not easily quantified, such as opportunities for growth, achievement, affiliation, and self-actualization. You know that you have two kinds of reward. One is known the extrinsic reward. The other one is intrinsic reward. Extrinsic reward, like if you work, then you will get money. So that is extrinsic reward. Intrinsic reward, that means you work, but you've got your self fulfillment. You've got your self-actualization. You've got your personal satisfaction. You want to fulfill your passion. Those are intrinsic reward. So we cannot say that everybody is working to get the extrinsic reward. But this one, under stewardship theory, the focus is on the intrinsic reward. Therefore, managers should be authorized to act, since they are not opportunistic agents, but good stewards who motivated to work hard on behalf of the organization. So you are saying that not all people are opportunistic. That means if they are the agent, stewards are the agent, so that means they are not opportunistic agents, but they are good stewards. They are motivated to work hard to perform, to provide the best for the shareholders and the stakeholders. Okay. So steward protects and maximizes shareholders' wealth through firm's performance. So it is being reflected in the firm performance. So by doing so, the steward's utility functions are maximized. So as such, managers balance competing shareholders and stakeholders' objectives, making decisions in the best interest of all. So that means they are not they are not performing for their own self-interest, but for the best interest of all. So from the management view, this theory favors board having a majority of specialist executive director rather than non-specialist independent director. So you are having a different view now. Hold on. So if you Google, you can see stewardship is an ethical term in accounting. So what is steward? So ethical term in accounting that imposes a responsibility to the management of an organization to take care of business carefully and provide reliable information the stakeholders about the resources of business by financial reporting. Williamson, 2002. So that is about the stewardship. So that means okay, one is meaning of steward, a person and especially a man whose job is to serve. Okay, this one. Okay, so that means you are looking at someone's who protects or is responsible for money, for property, for example. So if you talk about the agents or the managers, so they are the one who responsible to do good for the company and to protect the to do good for the company, as well as to protect the money or the investment made by the shareholders. So they are the steward. Okay, if you see here, okay, this one is about the stewardship theory of corporate governance and value system. Okay, this one. So what I want to highlight is that this one, business firms may have many stakeholders, and the primary among them are the employees, shareholders, creditors, customers, government, business partners, and society. So we have looked before Jensen and Macklin, 1976. So the agency theory viewed the corporation as a nexus of contracts among self-interested and potentially opportunistic parties. So based on Jensen and Macklin, the agency theory just now, the agents, they have their self-interest, and then therefore you will have these opportunistic parties. They want to take the opportunity. Whenever they have the opportunity, they want to take opportunity, means they want to do something for themselves, not for the interest of the other party. Okay, so the contract between the stakeholders, such as the employees, customers, and so on, can be enforced through law enforcement system. So how are you going to ensure that the interests of the other party are being protected? That's why you have the law and the enforcement system. So on the other hand, the contract between the company and the shareholder is not a complete contract covering every aspect of business decisions because of significant uncertainty, information asymmetries, and contracting costs. We have looked into this. Hence, the relationship between shareholder and the manager of a firm has been described as the pure agency relationship because it is associated with the separation of ownership and control. So we have looked into the separation of ownership and control. Different separation of ownership and control means different party own and different party control. So different party own, that means the owner, the shareholders, they are the owner. Different party control, that means another party, that is the agent, they are the managers, they are the company's executives that control the business. Okay, so this agency theory led to the birth of corporate governance issues. So you have all these corporate governance issues. That's why you have the the code of corporate governance that come into play to make sure that these interests are being aligned and so on. Okay, whereas stewardship theory was introduced by Donaldson and Davis in 1989. This is a normative alternative to the agency theory. So the executive manager under stewardship theory, far from being an opportunistic seeker, that means now we are not saying that they are opportunistic. Essentially, they want to do a good job. They want to be a good steward of the corporate assets. So this one is saying that they want to do good. Okay, they want to do good. They perform their duty because they want to fulfill their intrinsic reward just now that we have seen. Okay. So grounded in psychology, social and leadership theory, stewardship theory argues for the possible alignment between the principals and agents, which is reflective of a psychological contract or a close relationship with the agent behaving in a community-focused manner. Okay, they are working for the community. They focus on the community. Their interest is the community, but not their own self-interest. Directing trustworthy moral behavior towards the firm and its shareholders. So the stewardship theory holds that there would be no inherent general problems of executive motivation and so on. Okay, so that is about the stewardship theory. Okay, so how it differs from the Jensen and Macklin agency theory. Okay, so hopefully you have a better understanding for what is agency theory, the transaction cost theory, and now we have looked into the stewardship theory. Okay, with that, I thank you.